What up, YouTube? Here with a review video of the 2023 World Baseball Classics. This review video, I'm not going to be talking too much about the group stages or the earlier playoff games. I'm going to be talking more about the final game, and that was with Japan and the U.S. The final score of that game was 3-2, with Japan coming out on top, winning their third World Baseball Classic title. They hold the most world titles ever since World Baseball Classic became a thing. No other countries besides Japan holds more than one title, and every time the World Baseball Classic tournament is being played and all these countries come together, Japan always seems to go the furthest, and they still hold the most world titles by a wide margin. That's why I gotta give a shout out to Japan for playing good baseball. Anyways, let's talk about what happened in this final game with Japan and US. The first run came from Team US when Trey Turner hit a home run in the second inning, and then Japan would answer right back that same inning when it was their turn to bat. The first home run came from Murakami to put Japan on the scoreboard, and then that same inning, Nootbaar batted in a RBI to have Japan take the lead 2-1. And then the fourth inning, Japan would hit yet another home run that came from Kazuma Okamoto to further Japan's lead to 3-1. And then in the eighth inning, the U.S. would score a home run as well for a run, and that came from Kyle Schwarber. And that was all the runs that was scored in this game. And to close out the show, the MVP of the tournament, Ohtani, made the save to secure the win for Japan. And this tournament, I thought it was a good, fun tournament, and I think this is a good element for the sport of baseball to have countries compete with one another. And I thought the U.S. was going to win because of how well they played versus Cuba in the semifinals. They obliterated Cuba 14-2, and Japan, they had to go through a thriller of a game versus Mexico in their semifinal game, and they had to hit a walk-off run to secure the win to play in the finals. And Japan played Italy in the quarterfinals, and the U.S. played Venezuela in the quarterfinals. And Venezuela, like Japan, before losing to the U.S. in the quarterfinals, they finished on top in their group undefeated. And Venezuela was in the same group as the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, and those countries are powerhouses when it comes to world baseball. And they were undefeated versus those countries. And then there was Japan, who had quite a easy group during the group stages. And then Cuba, who also had quite a easy group during the group stages. They had a mediocre performance during the group stages. They finished 2-2. And then they beat Australia by an inch. And then there was Mexico, who was in the same group as the U.S. and Nicaragua and Israel. And Mexico was the top team when it came to that group. And the U.S.'s only defeat during the group stages was versus Mexico. And Mexico beat Puerto Rico in the quarterfinals. And as I said before, Puerto Rico been a major country when it comes to the sport of baseball. Mexico is now developing into being a powerful baseball country as they prove themselves during the group stages, and then beating Puerto Rico in the quarterfinals and beating US in a marquee match in the group stages, and then given a tough game versus Japan. And because Mexico had a tougher group and a much more tougher games than did Japan to the road to the finals for this year's World Baseball Classics, I thought Mexico was going to beat Japan due to that reason. However, Japan is a very sufficient, very good baseball team, and they had a very close, very thriller of a game with one another. And then Japan edged out both Mexico and US, and I thought the US would go on to the finals because they was playing Cuba, and Cuba, as I said before, wasn't playing great baseball. That's why I thought the US was gonna make it to the finals and then either lose to Mexico, really, but not to Japan because of how close that game was with Japan and Mexico, and Japan having a much easier group stage and a easier opponent versus Italy in the quarterfinals. That's why I was favoring the U.S. to win this year's World Baseball Classic. However, Japan edged the U.S. out in the final game. Gotta give a salute to Japan for a good performance for this year's World Baseball Classic tournament. Anyways, that does it for the review video of the 2023 World Baseball Classics. Y'all let me know what y'all opinions are from what y'all saw with this year's World Baseball Classic. Comment, subscribe, share, like, all that good stuff. And I'm out of here, y'all. Peace.